Welcome back, guys. My name is David, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to create comic books using AI. It's kind of pretty simple, but at the same time, not super simple. Okay, so the first thing I try to do is I try to look for a comic style that I am trying to replicate. So for this one, let me use Marvel Comics, because that one is kind of popular, Marvel Comics. So I'm going to then just find an image that kind of has the Marvel Comics looks. So I don't know. I'll pick one that kind of looks like it. Maybe this guy. Um, this is kind of like it, but I want to actually find like a comic book page. I guess I'm not finding one. Anyways, I'll just pick something like this. Kind of looks like Marvel Comics. All right, so let me just copy this image. This is kind of Marvel Comics. We're just gonna go with this, and then you go to ChatGPT, and in here, I usually am running 4.1 mini. It's one of the smaller models, but it seems to do everything, including images. So if it's gonna cost me less, I'm just gonna do less of it. And I am on the plus plan, and the only reason I decided to buy is because um, since I generate a lots of images, I need to pay for it because it'll be a big limiting factor. Anyways, so paste the image you're going to try to replicate, and then I usually type something like this. Describe in extreme detail the style of the attached image. I kind of say something in terms of, hey, just give me the style. Like, what is the style of this? And then what you'll see is it already knows it's Marvel, which is great. And then it kind of gives you the overall. Okay, every time I run this is different, but it kind of gives you the overall style. The important part is it gives you the pad, the coloring, the texture, influences. So this is all great. So what I do is when I generate my pictures in ChatGPT, I will then uh, use this as my style. So basically, let me open up here. Let me just go back to this blank folder. So I'll probably create. I usually create a text file called style. Basically, this is the style of um, whatever I'm going to generate. And then I am just going to go back to this and just copy it. Actually, I'm going to copy the whole thing and just paste it here and then clean it up. So obviously this top part, I'm just going to get rid of that, and I'll get rid of all this down here. This is just extra stuff we don't need. And I don't even read this to begin with. Like, I don't need to read this. This is going to be the style. All right. And then I would, now that you have the style, the other step you could do is you could technically try to copy the format, how the words are created, how the layout's created. You kind of do the same thing here, but I'm just gonna go very simple and just strictly using that style. Let's create a comic. So okay, so what's the next step? All right, let me just do a new chat. All right, so the next step is you could say, hey, let's say you wanted to create a comic on something not even related to Marvel. Let's say you like, I don't know, let's come up with something. Let's say you like gardening. and you wanted to teach people about how to plant a tree, for example. So create a simple four-panel comic um, that tells people how to plant a tree. Now, I'm picking this because it doesn't really matter the topic that you pick, as long as you kind of tell ChatGPT to create the comic, it will kind of do it for you. And then you can see that it created something very basic. Here's the scene, a person holding a tree, step one. So it kind of made step one, step two, step three, step four. So this is the important piece here. You, as the subject matter expert, so the person that knows about whatever the topic is, you have to make sure that the text or the comic, how it's being laid out, makes sense for you, and it's doing it correctly. But what you don't have to worry about is kind of how the image looks like. So, all right, so now how do you turn this into an actual comic? So you have options. You could create one picture that has these four scenes in it, or you could create a picture that has just two scenes in it, or a picture that has three panels in it. You kind of mix and match however you want. So let's start with a simple one and do one that has two panels in it. So panel one and panel two. So how I usually do that is I type here in ChatGPT, create image. Oops, I can't even spell image. Image. And then I space it out, and then I copy the actual panels or the what goes inside your comic. I put it right under here, and then you just paste. Usually, what I do is I just paste here the style. So I'll go back to this style that we generated, and I just highlight the whole thing, and I paste it here. So you're gonna have the instructions for ChatGPT is create the image, and then you're gonna. This is basically the comic book that what is it about? How is it gonna look like? It's all in the middle here, and then the bottom piece is you're telling ChatGPT how to artistically draw it. All right, so let me generate this. Oh, and then sometimes it asks you questions. It says, yes, pick number two. Pick number two. So it's asking you, how do you want to do it? So I'm saying pick number two. Oh, for now, okay. There we go. So I guess it's doing it even though it asks you the question. So sometimes it asks you questions, sometimes it doesn't. But anyways, this is drawing it. So I'm gonna pause the video because I don't want you guys to stare at it. And then when it generates, we'll see what it came up with. All right, so it created this picture, and this is a big fail. Yeah, it did exactly what I wanted to do, but I wanted in the Marvel style. So I'm gonna say no. Please create the comic in the Marvel style below. And I'm gonna be very specific, and I'm gonna paste it again. Sometimes you have to be like super verbose with these LLMs. It seems to have worked out for me. Uh, no. Only generate the image using the first two panels. Okay, so even though I told it to do the first two panels, it's now telling me, do you want me to generate the four panels? And it's confused. So sometimes it doesn't get it. Anyways, let's see what this comes up with. All right, so finally it made something that looks more like a Marvel. So here's a big, strong superhero type guy, and there he is digging a hole. Now, so there you go. That's kind of how Marvel, I would say this is a success. It actually made this, compared to what we did up here, you know, not that exciting, but now a lot more exciting. Now, another trick before we end this is sometimes there's an issue with character consistency. So let's say I wanted to generate my last two panels, panel 3 and panel 4, and I wanted to use the same exact guy. So how do I achieve that? The way that I've been doing it is the following way. I copy the the image of the one that I like. So let's say this one's like, oh yeah, I like this. This is great, and I just paste it in my next prompt, and then I say create image, and then right under it, if I want a landscape or portrait, I could type it here. Maybe landscape. I could type it here. Make landscape. Oops, landscape. Actually, I could do it like this. You could also put it here, landscape, and so just to tell it you want it to be landscape. And then here's the trick. Say, please use the same character in the attached image. So by saying that, you are telling ChatGPT is that when you generate your new image, make sure that this guy with the green shirt is the one you use to generate it. And then what are we gonna do for the what are we gonna write? Well, it's here. We'll do panel 3 and panel 4. And then we'll paste it here. And then again, I like to paste the, you could probably attach this and say, hey, use the style.txt, but I just paste it under. I think I think this is working. This has worked out for me. So even though it gets very verbose, it seems to have worked out. So anyway, so in theory, what we should get now is whatever panel 3 and 4 said about planting a tree, but now we'll see that same green guy show up, so our character consistency is there. So it's not some other random Marvel looking guy. It's the same green guy. So let me pause the video and show you what that looks like. And there you go. There is the image created. The green guy came back and it appropriately made it plant the tree and water it. Now I don't know what's happening here with his hand shoved inside the ground, but you could probably regenerate this and try a few variations. But it's basically doing it. It's getting this guy. Let me see if we could look at him up here. It's basically getting him and you know, there you go, there you go. Character consistency. You could also change the background and tell it to make it, in a more comic or Marvel type looking thing in the background. You could have bad guys, in the background. Anyways, you could change the color of this. Yeah, yeah. Anyways, that is kind of it. So go out there and start generating your own comic books and let me know how that goes.